On the 20th of October 2024, Rhiannon Whyte was brutally and senselessly murdered at Bescot Station as she made her way home from work. Her killer may have been sentenced to life in prison today, but no sentence or outcome will ever really be justice for Rhiannon's family and friends, who continue to live with this insurmountable, horrific loss. Their own life sentence began in October 2024, the moment Rhiannon was brutally taken from them. It was a frenzied, sadistic and unprovoked attack, which her killer carried out on an innocent young woman he barely even knew. He laughed, danced, joked around in the moments after what happened, and to this day he's never shown any remorse or given any explanation for why he decided to murder Rhiannon that night. His callous indifference has played out every day in court for Rhiannon's poor family to see in person. I would like to pay tribute to them once again for the extraordinary strength and dignity they continue to show in the face of one of the most truly traumatic things a family could ever have to go through. I have no doubt that Rhiannon would be immensely proud of them. As we close this chapter, it is important to remember Rhiannon for the person she was. Her kindness, her energy, and the joy she brought to those around her, rather than the person responsible for her death. Today's sentence ensures he will face the consequences of his actions, but it is Rhiannon's life and legacy that should live on. Thank you.
I stand here today to represent myself, our mother, our other three siblings, Emma, Daniel and Cara, as well as Rhiannon's now 6-year-old son, 2 nieces, 7 nephews, extended family and friends. On Sunday the 20th of October 2024, my family were handed a life sentence when Deng Chol Majek launched a frenzied and unprovoked attack on Rhiannon for no apparent reason whatsoever. There is no end to the pain or suffering we've had to endure or continue to experience. On that horrific day, our precious Rhiannon was shown no mercy. Throughout this trial, we have been given no reason as to why he chose Rhiannon, no accountability for his actions, and no remorse. She fought for her life and to save herself from this sick, twisted, and cowardly human. We will continue to advocate to evoke change in her name. Many have tried to imply that this is about immigration, but these are the choices of one man, not an ethnic group. I would like to quote Rhiannon's favourite Disney character, Stitch. Ohana. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. Rhiannon will never be forgotten. Thank you.
Deng Chol Majek, you have been found guilty of the murder of Rhiannon White at Bescot Stadium railway station. At about 11:20 p.m. on the 20th of October 2024, Rhiannon was on the station platform waiting for her train home after her late shift as an employee at the nearby Park Inn Hotel. You were a resident at the hotel. Having armed yourself with a Phillips head screwdriver, you had followed Rhiannon from the hotel to the station and down onto the platform where she stood alone. You then immediately and repeatedly attacked her with the screwdriver, inflicting 23 puncture wounds, 19 of them to the head. With the greatest courage, Rhiannon had tried to defend herself against your frenzied and sustained brutality. She collapsed to the ground where you left her. At the time of your attack, Rhiannon had been on her mobile talking to a friend. You took her phone, turned it off, and calmly walked back in the direction from which you had come. As you crossed the footbridge over the Tame, you threw her mobile into the river. You did not immediately return to the hotel, but first took a long walk around Walsall, in the course of which you bought some beer. Following your return, the CCTV shows you dancing and laughing in the hotel car park against the backcloth of blue flashing lights from the railway station. Rhiannon was found by the crew of her intended train, which arrived shortly after the assault. Emergency services came quickly to the scene. Despite every best effort, Rhiannon died in hospital 3 days later. The evidence against you, in particular from CCTV and DNA, was overwhelming. You continue to deny that you were the assailant. The court is thus left with no explanation of what possessed you to murder a member of the hotel's staff who, together with her colleagues, had been serving and helping you and your fellow residents. The court has heard the statements of Rhiannon's mother and one of her sisters. They speak in deeply moving terms of Rhiannon's wonderful character and qualities, and of the devastation which you have wrought to her close and loving family across the generations, and including her young son. The court is only too conscious that no sentence can ever begin to meet their terrible loss. On the count of murder, and as the law requires, the sentence is imprisonment for life. I turn to the minimum sentence which you must serve in custody before you may apply to the parole board to be considered for release. Having regard to all the matters to which I have referred, I set that minimum term at 29 years. From this must be deducted the 466 days you have spent on remand in custody. This means that the minimum term you will serve before you can be considered for release is 27 years and 264 days. Yes, please take him.